Hey, what's going on? Keys here from Sports Vibes TV. And as you can see, I'm joined by George from Into the Knicks and also by our NBA analyst, Stephen Fox. Fellas, how's everything with you guys?
All's well here. Salute to you, salute to George, salute to the chat, salute to the SV Nation, salute to the into the Knicks verse family.
Me too. Thank you for having me on, Keys. I'm looking forward to hopefully celebrating a win later. Be nice. I think we're due, but I'm sure we're going to jump into it pretty soon. Yeah, we're due. We're due for like what we got last game for 3 quarters. We're due for 4 quarters of that.
We're due for a win
We're
streak.
trending in that direction.
Remember,
we were only getting like 2 quarters before. Now we got 3. Now let's hope we get 4.
Fellas, any word on on RJ?
I think he's going to be available. Mark Berman sent out a tweet.
Nerlens is available. Not sure if he'll actually play, but RJ, I think it definitely will play. I don't know if he'll start. That hasn't been determined yet, has it, Keys?
No, I didn't see anything saying who's going to be the actual starters. You know, they drag their feet with that information.
I hate that. Any word on Sims?
Didn't they used to be a little more quicker and definitive about it?
I used to think that, it feels like it was back in the days, but now it's like they wait up until the last minute. Strategic, I guess.
Yeah.
Don't want to allow teams to game plan, I guess. You know, throw them a curveball. Oh, RJ's not there. We've been preparing to go up after him this entire couple days before the game, and now we have to adjust. So I think maybe it could be some of that. They do that a lot in football.
I gotta say before we jump into the whole pregame and all this stuff previewing, this Knicks team now, the way that we've been playing recently, past 3 games, if we get to the playoffs, which we assume I feel they will still, they're going to be exciting to watch in the playoffs. I would not want to be the other team having to try and beat this team for 4 games. It's going to be a battle for whoever it is. Look how I mean, we just battled 3 really good teams. 4 if you count the Suns as well, but they spanked us.
George, the only thing I would say is you said that last season too. Said the same thing last season, and the Hawks went and throttled us. So we got to start firing on all cylinders, get our chemistry up before we get into the postseason. Because I think right now, as currently constructed, we're still somewhat flawed. But I think the Knicks have the abilities, we have the means in order to get better as we get closer to the playoffs. So, fellas, we're coming off a loss, unfortunately, against the Chicago Bulls. Just want to get your guys' thoughts on the game before we start pre-gaming this upcoming Nuggets matchup. Foxy, I'll start with you. What were your thoughts on the game? Anything that stuck out to you?
It was heartbreaking, obviously. I was hoping that we'd win. Also, I just wanted it as a present for you for your birthday. But we went back to 19 assists for the game. You know, I want to see that ball movement again and moving that ball around. And 18 turnovers didn't do us any good. So I want to protect that basketball, shoot the foul line better, shoot our 2-point shots better. You know, that's the thing that is really the Achilles heel so far this year is our 2-point shooting. We shoot a lot more 2-pointers than we do 3-pointers. So we gotta get better at that. But I thought it was a valiant effort with that RJ and our walking wounded center position.
George, what about you? How did you feel about the game?
About the previous game?
Yeah.
Man, I talked a lot about it. I realized I talked before even Foxy joined me that night on the live show. I had already talked for like 45 minutes.
It was the Guinness World Book of Records for the longest post game in history. That's what White Russians and Spike Lemonade does.
Well, it was one of those games where you had to vent, so I feel you.
Yeah, there was a lot to talk about. I feel, to me, I take it as because we talk about trends, but then there's like little micro trends that you try to see. Oh, wait a second, there's a little bit of a heartbeat there. There's something there, And one thing that I don't think we talked enough about is unfortunately, because Randle did have the 7 turnovers. He did play a very good. I mean, he's one of the main reasons we even had a chance to get back in that game. But he's also one of the reasons why we were behind.
And why we lost.
Yeah. He and similarly with the in the Nets game, he also played a very good game that night. That gets lost in the loss. So maybe he's starting to figure a little something out, but he's still too mistake prone. And I got really deep into discussing situational awareness. And there was a video that was posted today. I don't know how I ever missed this, but it was Bernard King talking about how he attacks the defense. And it was he just said it differently, but it was almost the same exact thing that I was trying to communicate to Julius. You inflict your pain upon the defense. Not like, how Thibs is always saying, we got to take what the defense gives us. I understand in general as a team, but as an individual player, you got to have your go-to moves. And Bernard and King talked about the grid. He saw it as nine spaces on the right side of the court, 9 on the left, 4 in the middle. So that's 22 spots. He knew exactly how to score. And if you can only come at me with 5 different defensive approaches. So if you're going to come at me with defensive approach 1, 2, 3, or 4, whatever, I'll respond with, I'll go to this spot on the floor. I'll go to this spot on the floor. And I know what I'm on this spot on the floor. I know exactly how to shoot and how to make it. And and now when I think back at when I used to watch him play, that he was so methodical. He said, he used the word, I was analytical like that. That's what, and what does that mean? That means that he's approaching the game from, of course, he's got amazing physical attributes. He's one of the greatest shooters of all time, but he's approaching it from his brain intellectually. He's not letting his emotions get caught up. And he could get upset, but he's looking at, okay, how do I dissect this guy without coughing up the ball, without making a mistake? Julius is a little still too like, I'm going to get mine. Feels like it. So he needs to, I would love for Bernard and Julius to spend a couple afternoons together, just talking out on the court. They may have done that already. I don't know.
Yeah, he's like, look,
bro, you feasted last season. Julius Randle was the #1 scorer from the right baseline in the entire NBA. That was Melo's spot. That was Bernard King's spot. Remember, Melo learned his game from watching King. So we have a long lineage of this type of play in New York. But Julius just hasn't been hitting it, though. It's starting to come around. I'm hoping that this is that we're just in that period of time where, I mean, we're facing some really good teams. We happen to be struggling. Coach finally made a major change. And unfortunately, we weren't playing, weak opponents so that we can really benefit from that change automatically. But we have a nice stretch coming up ahead. We got to win tonight. We got to win tonight. This morning, we have to win.
Yeah. Thank you, George, for showing up early. I know it's pretty early over on your side of the country. So thank you for pulling up and helping to co-host this live stream.
I'm still having this is my first cup of coffee still.
Oh, yeah? Hey, an encouraging thing to George's point was a shout out to Tom Piccolo. He talked about that encouraging for Julius, that with Kemba on the court, he was averaging 7 drives per game. But since the move, he's averaging almost 14 a game.
Mm-hmm.
Get back, and we saw how much he ate in the paint the other night. So, and then like you were talking about Bernard, that analytical part is not only getting there, but sometimes the worst case scenario, I get fouled. I go to the foul line, but use that physicality, and God knows Julius has that. So that was some nice numbers. Julius, keep up that drive into the rim, and just don't shoot with 2 seconds left in the game. The foul shots, I think, will be all right.
Yeah, he's got to do better converting those free throws, especially in the clutch, because this is time and time again we've seen him
3 or
miss
4 layups.
4, and I think they were in the first half. Yeah.
And
the Bunnies.
He shot 66%.
And still missed 4.
Game.
Yeah.
And he missed 4 layups. Can you imagine? He could have one of those amazing games where he shoots 20 out of 22 or something.
Yeah. And the weird part is he didn't even attempt a 3, which was, again, versus earlier in the season where we were saying he was 3 happy. It was complete opposite. So,
well, he got the change I don't mind asking for, so we switched up.
Yeah, and that we talked about what some of our guts were that 41% from 3 last year was a touch of an anomaly, that maybe he's more back in the 35. That's probably more where he is. So, he's much better off, like you said, Mr. shooting that mid-range.
Want to give a couple shout outs to the chat. Still Dre saying, let's go Knicks. Salute Knicks gang. D. Burr. Been a while since I had time to participate in a live show. Thank you, my guy, for pulling up and joining the discussion. Tanks is saying yo, yo, yo. Keyshawn is saying yours. Yet salute, guys. Is that your or yet? I'm guessing it's your. T and R are close to each other on the keyboard.
Yet. I think it's
Bobby Smurda. Yeah, it's supposed to be your. Bobby Smurda took your hat, George.
Hey man,
about a week
it's a good hair day. I gotta keep it clean.
D. Burr is also saying Sims is a game time decision. We have the injury updates. I know we said RJ's playing.
He's in the starting lineup. It just came over the wire for me and Begley.
Nice. Yeah. So it's the usual starting lineup. Burks, RJ.
Yeah, for us, yeah. Austin Rivers, Bones Highland, and Ball are out for the Nuggets. And
how could you tell Ball is out?
Exactly. Right. I just assume he's out.
Yeah. MPJ is out too. Well, we know that.
Yeah, we know that. Yeah. Unfortunate scenario for him. Unfortunate situation.
RJ Barrett will start, Knicks say. Good.
Yeah.
So how do you feel about that? RJ Barrett getting back into the swing of things. He's an important piece. I think RJ Barrett is the deciding factor of how far we go as a team. I think Julius Randle, for the most part, you look at him as a consistent 20 and 10 player that you're going to get solid production from. You just hope he doesn't turn the ball over or make boneheaded plays. But with RJ, we're still getting some inconsistencies from him. And I think if we're going to reach where we need to be as a team, which is a team that can get to the second round, then RJ is going to have to step up and be that our second best player out there. We are seeing that Evan Fournier is still getting adjusted to the city and hasn't really developed into that consistent piece we can go to. So for RJ now, we need him to step up both defensively, get back to that level we saw him play earlier, and then offensively, I want to see him get a little bit more involved, be a facilitator, get the ball in his hand. We're seeing Julius Randle cough it up. Well, let's see if RJ can do a little bit better with the rock in his hand. He's a player that we saw even out there at Duke. He was better with the ball in his hand. So let's see if we can get him some more opportunities. George, we'll start with you. What do you think about RJ and what he can provide this team today against the Denver Nuggets?
Well, it's going to be interesting to see what he actually does provide today, because he's coming on. He hasn't played in I think he's missed 2 games.
1.5.
1.5.
I'm not mistaken.
That's it? God, it feels
like forever.
It feels like I was about to say 3 games, and then I said 2. So they're 1.5. That shows you how much of a part of the DNA of this team that he is. We really don't. We're nowhere near the team that we need to be without him, and without him performing at least at the level that he was performing last season. And we talked about this. We're wondering why. Why is he not even doing that? As opposed to, he showed us a glimmer, those 5 games, and then those 4 games where he was averaging 26.3 points per game. And we were like, oh my God, this is it. We got our next, he's going to win MIP this season. But then he drifted downward. Agent Super Argo put something in the chat here that was interesting. He wrote, RJ ain't sick. ... Been playing through a bad wrist, ... ankle and back pain. I think he definitely was sick, which is why he missed this recent games. But we talked about this. RJ looks a little off. What's going on with him? Is he trying to play through some pain, some aches? And he might be. And also, because it's not the minutes, because he's only averaging 32.5 minutes per game as opposed to last season, 36.4. But he's not even, like, his assists are down. He was at 3.4 last season through the first stretch of games. He's at 2.3 now. It's a 33% drop. actually. So that's a big drop in assists. So he's not really looking for his other guys. Now, maybe there's other factors for that, but he could have been a little bit of physical. He could have been physically compromised, and maybe that's why it's affected his game. Because he has actually a beautiful shot. He has a beautiful 3-point stroke. It's quick and it's quiet. A lot of people don't talk about that much, but it's quiet. He just goes up, snaps it, boom, it's in. When he's connecting, and now it's like he's front rimming. So maybe that often is indicative of soreness in legs and in back. So he might be right. Agent Super Argo, which I love that name, might be right. He might be nursing some pains and trying to play through it. And finally, he was like, you know what? I'm not feeling well, so let me just take a game off to help, an extra game, because we need him. We need 18 points a game every game. You know, maybe you get 14 one night, but then you get 22 the next night. We need him to average 18, 6, and 5. That's like the bare minimum. And he has the talent and ability to do that. Like now, he has that ability. So that's what I'm hoping to see from him. I don't know if we'll see it tonight, or today, this morning, or whatever, because it's the first game back, but we need to see that.
Yeah, 5 might be a stretch for RJ. I mean, you look at the team leaders. Julius Randle's leading the team with 5.2, so might be a little bit.
But that's because the whole team is not averaging enough assists per game.
True.
You know,
true.
And now we don't. And look, Burks is not a true point guard, so when RJ's on the floor, RJ's going to get a chance to initiate the offense. Also, I don't know if you guys noticed, but for long stretches, especially in that second half, when IQ was on the court, IQ was running the show, not Burks. Burks was on the court with him, but IQ, oh man, he made. I rewatched that second half. IQ played an excellent second half as an initiator, as a creator, and then he hit those big 3-pointers, which makes him so dangerous. So I think there's opportunities for RJ. I don't know, yeah, maybe 5 at this point. So, but you know, at least get back to what you were doing last season, 3.5.
Yeah, 3.5, 4 is a nice range for RJ, especially if we start to use him more as a facilitator in the offense. Foxy, what about you? What are you looking for from RJ, both in this game and I think in the future as a key piece for our team?
Yeah. Hey, we just saw the Bulls, and they have 5 guys that basically average 4 assists a game. So I'd love to see that, like you just said. I'd love to see Julius with the 5. Love to see RJ with 5. I'd like to see this. I'm looking forward to super agent Argo. That makes all the sense in the world, because we know that he's a little heavy-legged and stuff like that. But even with that, his lift this year was like George was saying, is like something's up with the kid. He just something's wrong. So I don't know from an exhaustion, but like George said, if it's ankle or back, that would do everything that that would make sense for everything that we're seeing. And the same thing getting around screens. He looks slow. So hopefully he's a little refreshed. We missed him on defense. We missed him. Hey, he's a key foundational piece for our future. And like you were saying, hey, what we've learned about RJ, the difference between 16 and 18 or even 20 points with him is him finishing in the paint, those miss bunnies. So if he can just refine that skill, I think he's going to be fine. I know he's going to be okay. It's just like you said, I think all of us were just hoping in this third year that we'd see a little more consistency. But if you have a stiff back and your ankle and you're trying to guard the best defender, best offensive players in the league, that could that could hurt. So I hope he gets back. I hope Mitch gets back, but we'll stick with RJ. But I'm glad he's back. But also I hope that they keep an eye on him. I hope they don't throw him to the wolves and let him, just monitor him, see how he's doing, warming up, everything else, that he's okay.
Yeah, I want to see how he looks to start this game as well. Hopefully he's able to come out and get off to a hot start. I think that would kind of make me feel a lot better about RJ, because right when he went down with the illness, he was starting to break out of his little funk. So hopefully he's able to carry some of that positive energy and not really pay too much attention to the negative vibes we had out there against the Suns, and come out and have a good game tonight. I'm used to this playing at night. Have a good game today, a matinee session against the Nuggets. So, guys, I also have some stats here. Got the tail of the tape.
Here we go.
You can see Knicks right now have 106.9 points per game, which outranks the Denver Nuggets, who have 103.6 points per game. We got the Nuggets out assisting us per game with 24 compared to 21.5. We're out rebounding the Nuggets 45.6 compared to 42.5. They're shooting it at a better percentage from the field at 46.1, and we're coming in at 44.3. Now, the three-point percentage, we're ahead at 36.4, which is good for 8th in the league, and the Nuggets, their three-point percentage is 33.33. I'm over here using extended decimals now, right? I'm a mathematician. So as you can see, the Knicks also were coming into this game with an 11-11 record, and the Nuggets, they're under 500, 10-11. They don't have MPJ. You guys mentioned that earlier. They also don't have Jamal Murray, so they're an understaffed team. And I think this is a team and a game that the Knicks should go out there and win. We've got to end this losing streak. George, Foxy, I've mentioned it to you guys. We have a tough West Coast trip. I want to try and get to that point at 29 and 23. And these are the type of games where we have to get into the war chest, into the treasure chest, into our piggy bank, so we can kind of build up some wins before we go out and have that gruesome stretch against teams like the Lakers, Jazz, Suns, etc. So what are you guys looking for this team to come out and do tonight in order to get the victory? Foxy, I'll start with you.
Like you were saying, Denver is a very good 2-point shooting team, but they're a terrible 3-point shooting team. They're a bad foul shooting team. They don't get to the line a lot. They're a bad rebounding team. They don't block a lot of shots. So with all those elements, I hope that we just capitalize on that and take it to them. They've lost 7 out of 8 games, 4 of which Jokic didn't play, but we have them on the ropes, man. Let's just take them. Let's not have bad third quarters or first quarters. Let's just, like George and you guys said, we played 3 great quarters the other day. Let's play 4 good quarters, and let's take out the aggravation of losing to the Nets and losing to Denver on them.
Yeah, I mean, they've been struggling. I'm looking at the last 5. They lost. Everyone loses to the Suns, but they lost to the Trailblazers. They were on the road to both those. They lost to the Bucks, but they beat Miami in Miami. Now, the Heat were without Jimmy Butler, but they had Bam. They had everybody else. They won that game, but then they lost to Orlando. So, we kind of there's a little bit of similarity here. Teams that should be performing better according to the fan bases. So they're underperforming. There's different reasons why, but their 3-point shooting has really been surprisingly poor. I think so. Hopefully we can. I think this is the perfect opponent for us, because they're not like a total garbage team. Sorry, I hate to use those words like that, but the Rockets or the Pistons, and if we don't win that game, it's super demoralizing. So this game, it's a good game. It's a good matchup right now at this moment, but we have to come out with this victory. There's no other acceptable result other than a victory tonight. And as you go through, you're going to show some more slides. You got some of the factors and stuff, and it'll reveal why we should definitely win and win going away in this game. We should have like a 120-109 type score line, like the way the Bucks beat them. That's how it should be for tonight. Tonight, I keep saying that.
Yeah, see, you get stuck in your head. Yeah, man. I think this is a game to win too, but I'm a little nervous when it comes to Jokic. The team as a whole doesn't shoot great from 3, but Jokic, I think he's coming into the game shooting right around 38%. And we saw what Vooch was able to do against us, in our last game against the Bulls. So I'm nervous when it comes to Jokic. If we're able to, when you look at Jokic, when he goes off, it's not just him getting buckets, it's him finding dimes and setting up his teammates. So
spectacular.
Even though we say allow him to go off, if we allow Jokic to go off, a part of him going off is getting his teammates involved. So that's why I'm real concerned about that matchup with Jokic. So I agree with you, George. I agree with you, Foxy. This is a game we should win, but that matchup right there is getting me a little bit nervous.
Barton's having a good season. He's come back. He's averaging 16. Campazzo is their mini version of Caruso that we just faced. He's a real pest. But I think we should do well. But I think you just brought up a great point about him at the perimeter. We just don't want to see that again like we've seen before, or Tibbs make the adjustment. Whether you bring in Obi, and pretty soon maybe we'll call up Luka Šamanić as our stretch five.
Having Nerlens available is really important because totally right. I mean, Jokic could get Mitch into foul trouble, so we're going to need Nerlens. We're going to need his size for sure. I mean, the Joker he's an assassin. He's like a surgeon. He'll pick you apart. He'll find his opponents, and he makes everyone better on the court. I mean, against the Heat, he scored 24, 15 rebounds, 7 assists. I mean, that's from your center.
Yeah.
Tremendous.
Yeah.
So, guys, I pulled up the 4 factors for you. You want to shout somebody out? Foxy, go ahead.
No, I was just saw Knicks 100 a game, and last show he educated us how he got that name, that he used to play NBA 2K in the barbershop for $100 a game, and that's where that's where the name came from. So I hope all is well. Shout out Knicks, aka G-Man for life, great guy. Hey, if you haven't checked out his podcast on Lawrence Tears, shout out to Freezy and Miss Mocha. Hope everyone's well. I see Josh. Hi, Josh. Again, shout out to the MBK family. And if you haven't hit that like button, please smash that like button. Please hit that subscribe button. Please hit that all notification bell for both Sports Vibe and Into the Knicks Verse. And please share that link on your favorite social media platforms. And also, as always, shout out to the best mods on the planet. We appreciate all you do.
So, guys, I supplied you guys with your favorite stats. You guys chewed me out over my last one when I had pace up there. So now I got the 4 factors. You taught me my lesson.
Take it, George.
Well, here, I mean, what's interesting is the offensive rebounding. I'm surprised that we're 13th. So that's interesting right there. The field goal percentage, this is a problem. We gotta get this up. That shows, and that's really being held down by our 2-point game, our mid-range game. It's really been hurting that. 52.6%. That's right in the middle. You're not gonna be a consistently winning team unless you're like we're doing with. But even look at the Nuggets though. They're at 6. They're in 6th place in field goal percentage, and yet they are a losing team. So that's it's still early, definitely in the season, but our turnover rate has been it's been creeping up again. We were kind of keeping it down for a little while. That was like our turnover rate was like 13.1% or something before. Now it's up to 14.3%. That means for every single possession, 14.3% of the time, it turns into a turnover. It's way too high. Bad teams turn the ball over.
George, you think that coincides with us no longer having a legitimate point guard in the starting lineup?
Could be. Yeah. It also coincides with the ball being in Julius Randle.
I was about to say that, but I wanted to be nice. I was like, going to be nice today. Be nice today.
Well, it does. I mean, it's just sometimes he gets too deep down the court. He finds himself in the teeth of the defense, and he gets swarmed from behind. I mean, these are remember, these are professional athletes. These are the best basketball players in the world, all over the place. And the other teams, they know the scouting report. You apply pressure to Julius, when he's below the 3-point line, he's going to cough the ball up, and that's there it is right there. Also, we've had other bad turnovers too. We've had some weird guys I wouldn't even expect to do some turnover. Like Rose has had some, not that many, but he's had some bad crippling turnovers. What game was that? Was that the Bulls game?
Yeah, he's had a couple of games where it's like, Derek, what's up? Doesn't look like you, man. What's going on?
Yeah. Fournier definitely has had some bad stretches of TOs, turnovers. Who else? Well, RJ has had some bad turnovers as well. So that could be, and it is because the Kemba experiment did not work out. So now they're trying to find a new lead guard, and it's Burks at the moment. We'll see how this goes. But either way, as a team overall, we just have to make quicker decisions and not try to do too much. I think a lot of times these turnovers come from trying to do too much. They try to get past their guy, and someone else rotates over, so that option is out. And then they do a desperate heave to someone else out on the perimeter, and the defense knows that. That's the reason that they jammed you up, to get you to cough the ball up, so they're ready for that outlet pass. And so we just have to respond differently, definitely, or not even get ourselves in those situations. That's really what I'd like to see. Us having more efficient. We need to run cleaner plays to get easier looks for our guys. I know that sounds like cliche, but that's just the reality of it.
Coach talk.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we want to see lessons lost. Hopefully this is not a close game, but if it is a close game, I have a brick ready for my television. If I see Randle dribbling that ball up, if he doesn't give it off to a guard, I will go crazy. And if Rose doesn't, close it out, hey, let him get it to. The key point, I think, is that, which just betrays me, is you want Randle, a point guard, to bring the ball up and Randle to get to his spot. You don't want Randle to have the ball, dribble up, and dribble to get to his spot. It's two different concepts, and that's the whole thing, man. He's a great player.
Yeah. And
in his spots.
Even if whatever happens, because he gets the long rebound and he finds himself halfway up the court,
give it up.
Exactly, because you'll get it back, man. It'll come back to you. You're the main guy.
But like I said, eat down low, man. Get down in your spot and everything, and go from there. I know I'm wishful thinking. It's not going to happen, but I'd just throw it out there that Deuce McBride was recalled and he's available for the game. Last night he had 23 points and 11 assists, so he's averaged 28 points, almost 8 assists, and over 5 rebounds a game. So sooner or later, folks, I hope our guy Deuce gets some burn or just a look at him.
Foxy's perpetually dreaming of Deuce.
I am. That and White Russians, but
every time Foxy sneaks it in, like
I can't help it.
Other, he'll be like, "Hey, did you see what Deuce did?"
Hey, we got a 3 at the point guard spot, so not that Deuce is a true point guard, but I think he has a lot more attributes to be a true point guard than Burks. So can't help it. I'm a homer.
All right, fellas, I got our defensive numbers when it comes to our 4 factors as well, and how we rank up against the Nuggets. So, George, anything sticks out to you, Foxy?
Oh man!
Just like you said, the numbers there.
This is what we should have shown. It'd be nice to the differential. See the effective field goal percentage, the differential. That's in our favor. Look at that. We hold the defense to 50, the offense to 50.6.
Yeah, we're elite. Yeah. We're number 6 in the league.
That's why as inconsistently as we've played all year. This is why we're at least 500 right now, especially after just playing a tough stretch of teams. That's nice.
Yeah, and that's why. But also, once we start hitting our threes, that differential should get even more.
Yeah. What was that?
Even though we aren't shooting terrible from 3-point percentages, our 3-point percentage is all right. We just need to have a higher volume.
Yep.
So we were seeing a little bit of signs of life from RJ the last 3 games. We touched upon this in a previous game. Like he's shooting 45.5% from the 3-point line, only on 3.7 attempts. So, but still, at least he's connecting 45% of the time, similar to last season. His rebounds were about 6, but his assists 1.3. It's still kind of low, but at least he's becoming more efficient offensively in the past 3 games before that injury. Let's hope he can pick up from there. He was averaging but only 12.3 points per game, but he was a plus minus 1.7.
Thank you for the stats. Let's see what we got going on in the chat.
Joker.
SV Nation. We surveyed 100 people, and I guess he found out that it was Randle's fault. I'm guessing that's for the turnovers.
Hey, but George said it right. If he didn't score the 30 points, you wouldn't have been in the position in the first place to win the game. So those turnovers hurt, but you also couldn't be there to win if it wasn't for Randle either.
Yeah. And when you have the ball in your hand the majority of the time, you're going to commit a turnover here and there. It's just 7 was just crazy. I mean, I went through the math in that post game where how it all worked out. If he had just had like his 4, which sucks anyway, right? That's 3 additional possessions. Let's say, let's get even greedy. Let's say he just had 3 turnovers. Those 4 extra possessions, if we connect on 2 of those, that's at least 4 points. That's a tie.
And
game.
That's a tie.
And if he makes one of those missed free throws, we win.
And then
that's my biggest beef with him. The missed free throws. And it's consistent. It's not like it was just this game. He's missed clutch free throws time and time again.
Yeah.
And that's the
see it in his eyes. Yeah.
Can't be the leader of the team and out there bricking free throws and you always calling for the ball. Well, we gave you the ball, you got fouled, and now you're bricking.
Yeah, his nerves.
I understand the nerves part, but if you're the leader of the team and you're calling for the ball, you want to bring the ball up, you always want the rock in your hand. You got to step up and you got to knock down the free throws.
Yeah, you didn't see the nerves with DeRozan, did you?
That comes back to what we were talking about earlier, like how Bernard King has an intellectual approach to the game. Stay up here, not here. Don't be emotional. Don't be too emotional. Use your emotions to energize yourself, but control it with your mind. So when you're at the free throw line, you have to be quiet. All that matters is that hoop and you. Don't think about the situation.
Think about the gym. You've done this 100 times.
Yeah, you should make every single free throw. That's it. Don't be thinking about, I need to make this free throw. No, that's totally wrong. I'm gonna make this free throw. That's it. Every single time. He lets all the I didn't get that foul call. I finally got this foul call. I'm gonna make there's a big free throw. It's like too much is going around in his head, and he psychs himself out of the game. And we saw that in the Atlanta series. He psyched himself out of that series because of the way they defended him and stuff. He could have responded. He even said it. I can respond to it, but he didn't. He let his emotions get too much of him.
Hey, you see who pulled up in the chat, folks? The one and only. JD Sports Talk, our brother JD.
Hey,
where's
JD?
Yeah,
what's up?
We love our guy JD.
What's up, JD?
Welcome back, our friend, to the show that never ends. We're so glad you could attend. Come inside.
So yeah, guys, you can see Julius Randle is carrying a heavy burden for this team. He's leading the team in points, leading the team in rebounds, and he's leading the team in assists. So I understand sometimes you're holding the ball that much and you can cough it up, but after a while, enough is enough. 7 is just too much. And I think 6 of them, if I'm not mistaken, were in the first half.
Not sure.
I think it was something. It was a crazy number or something like that.
I can tell you.
When you have a game like that, trying to pull back from, try to claw yourself back in a big deficit like that, the turnovers are just going to kill you. So I want to see more from Julius Randle. I want to see him step up.
He had 4 in the first half.
4 in the first half? Okay. And then 3
in the
second?
He had 3 in the second. Jeez.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Brutal.
He had 2 in the third quarter. So then he had.
He had one bad one in the fourth.
Yeah, that fatal one in the fourth.
I kind of gave it away.
Yeah. Wow, he was having a tremendous game after 3.
Yeah, I mean, it was crazy game.
You know, other positives. Fournier, he's been playing solid recently, and it's continuing, and we need it. Another reason why we don't need Julius to have the ball in his hands all the time. We have 3 guards technically out there at all times now, even when we had Kemba, RJ, and Fournier. I know Fournier plays a small forward, or RJ plays a small forward, but he's basically a guard. We can spare ourselves the agony.
Yeah, we just need him to pick up Fournier other parts of his game. He's only had 1 rebound and 1 assist in the last 2 games. So we know he can shoot that 3 beautiful, but we'd love to see some of the other parts of his game.
All right. So, guys, I got the league leaders for the Denver Nuggets, and they're similar to how we are. They run from one of their bigs, Nikola Jokic. He's out here leading their team in all the major statistics. Jokic is averaging 25.7 points per game, 13.8 rebounds per game, 6.4 assists. And I mentioned before, he was shooting 38% from 3, and he's shooting 58% from the field. So he's going to be the major matchup that we're going to be concerned about, and we have to stop him from going off. What do you guys think the Knicks are going to have to do in order to limit Nikola from, going off?
He's a reigning MVP, don't forget.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, true. Add that to his title as well.
Well, I think you just nailed it from our previous games. I'm worried about who's going to get out on him on the perimeter. And he's a real savvy guy, so hopefully he doesn't get our 5s and everybody else in foul trouble. But he's missing so many key players on that team. Like we said on previous games, he's going to get his. We just got to stop everybody else from getting theirs on the team. So we don't want any, Grayson Allens. We don't want any, Conagans or Ricky Rubio type of games from any other players on that team. So
yeah,
let Jokic eat and just everybody starve, and we'll win this game.
Yeah, one guy. I'm worried about Aaron Gordon because he's been playing well recently. Like really well.
He's athletic.
He's athletic. He's taking up the slack for MPJ being out. But the Joker, the way you beat him is for one, force him to take 3s and disrupt his vision. So we need Mitch to play up kind of tight on him. Because Jokic is not. He's got some decent quickness, but Mitch is even slower, heavier. Still nursing the foot. Mitch is faster than a totally healthy Joker. So I think Mitch got to play up on him more. Same with whoever's guarding him, whether it's Nerlens or even if those times when Julius is on him. Julius might be interesting to see him on the Joker. He has a good luck sometimes with some big guys.
He played well against Sabonis.
Yeah. So they're gonna have to rotate guys around him because we're gonna be picking up fouls, but at the same time, we don't want him to get into a flow. It's like he gets his fingers. He has those like tingling magic fingers, and he'll just find guys left and right. Have you noticed how he does that? He kind of like holds the ball and he's looking for his option. And I love
he's like a machine.
I love Nikola Jokic's game.
How can't you?
Oh my God, I love it. It's a fantastic style. Hey, remember when KP beat him in the what was that contest at the All-Star weekend?
Skills.
They were the 2 finalists.
The
skills competition.
Yeah. The skills. KP beat him that one. But it was close. But look who's developed into an MVP.
Mm-hmm. Both of them. You see Jokic, he's not the quickest, but his footwork, man. He's got great footwork, and that's what allows him to get past a lot of defenders. So Mitch is going to have his hands full. Nerlens Noel is going to have his hands full. And like, Foxy says, we can't allow the other players to step up, but we got to make life difficult for Jokic as well. Yeah. Can't allow him to just, feast and say, all right, you're killing, but everybody around you is not really doing anything, because the byproduct of Nikola going off is just the players around him eating. And you've got players like a Facu coming off the bench that can, get in, penetrate. Sometimes we do have issues with guards getting into the paint against us. Facu can go, and he's a masterful point guard. He can find his teammates out there for good looks. So, those two, I think we really have to keep an eye on, both Nikola and then Facu with the second unit.
One thing I wanted to point out, because I mentioned Fournier before, just so you guys see how he has been really coming on lately. The last 7 games, he's been taking 7.6 3-point attempts, connecting on 3.6 of them. So almost 4 3-pointers a game he's averaging for the past 7 games, and he's shooting 47.2%. So Fournier is doing that part of his job. He is providing that offense that we desperately need. And another thing that I like about what he's been doing is he's taking the shot it seems like an extra foot further back than he was in the beginning part of the season. Either that's just something I'm seeing and it's not necessarily a decision, but it feels like it. Keep an eye out for that. I could swear that he was a little closer to the 3-point line for the first half of the season, of so far, the first 10, 15 games or so. Recently, he's been a little further back. Similar, we see IQ does this too. He steps back a little further.
I was about to say that I think you're right. I think thinking about it, that he's doing a little step back now to get that extra foot.
Yeah, and he did hit a 3-pointer where he just had no business hitting it last game. He was literally in the air, drifting to the right. He just shot it and it went in. So his touch is back. We just need him to keep being engaged defensively and get those steals, because that's what he does.
He got a lot of steals.
Yeah, 4
big. Those are big steals too.
Yeah.
And during that stretch when we were trying to pull ourselves back.
Yeah.
Yep. Hey, a question.
Go ahead, Fox.
I was going to say our guy JD has a question for us. Since this is a must-win, what player outside of Randle has to have a good game?
Yeah, that's exactly where I was going to go.
Okay, cool. Thanks, JD, as always.
Thank you for that, JD. Nice segue. So, George, we'll start with you. Who do you think has to have a big game in order for us to come out with the W?
Burks. Burks has to have a good game. He was
Oops.
Okay, so we'll go to
my
Fox.
Battery died.
Come back. Oh, so this is now an audio podcast version.
I thought you were combing your hair again. Got to look pretty today. I know.
Yeah,
George battery dies, and I get the color lines.
But boom, where's that roadcaster?
I need to get the wah.
Wah, wah.
So, Foxy, we'll start with you. Who do you think has to have a big game?
I agree with you. I want Randle to have a normal game, 20, 10, 5. I want Burks to have a good game. And I want our guy, the golden child, RJ, to come back. I'm not looking for a big game. I'm just looking for him to have an RJ game. Play good D. Maybe get, I'll be selfish, but around 16 points and 14 to 16 points. And I think that'll be a nice game for him. So I'd like RJ to come back, get into the groove. And we need him badly, folks. We're not doing anything without RJ. So get him back. I hope the fans just give him a hug and let him know that we missed him and let him take off from there.
Yeah, for me, who has to have a big game? I think it's Mitch. He's going to be matched up against Nikola Jokic. He has to show us that he's able to get out there and contest those 3-point shots. That's something that Vooch was able to kill us with against, when we played against the Bulls. And also, this team isn't a great rebounding team. So I want to see Mitch be a factor in the paint. Also, we saw Mitch post up a little bit when he had a mismatch. So let's see if we can get a little bit more of that out of Mitch, so we can see if he has some offensive gifts that he can put on display. So I think Mitch has to step up. He has to be a factor in the paint defensively. I think he was a big part of the comeback, even though we were unable to see it to a victory. But I think Mitch is going to be very important in this game, both because he's matched up against Nikola Jokic, who the offense is going to be running through and who has the ability to knock down the 3, and also because he has to be a beast in the paint defensively and securing all the rebounds.
Yeah. I see Oakley James. Shout out to you. If you're new, give a thumbs up so we give a proper hello. He agrees with you. Mitch needs to come up big. Keep Joker in check. So, like we said, Jokers do that, but like he's just said, on the rebounding side, let him eat on that rebounding side. And again, anyone hear about Sims, whether or not he's going to play today? I think that'll be big to maybe give Rich a breather. Hopefully Taj won't get kicked out after 3 minutes. So,
I think even if available, Sims won't play though, because if Mitch is healthy and available, Nerlens is healthy available, and Taj
Nerlens, yeah. Oh, I didn't know. I thought he was still questionable.
Yeah. Is he still questionable? Yeah. Did we get a final verdict on Nerlens?
I don't know about. We heard
about it.
Yeah, I know we got the ladies and gentlemen. Yeah. So JD, is there a player outside of Jokic that you are concerned could look more than since they are the Knicks and it's MS? And we touched on Barton having a good season, JD.
We said Aaron Gordon.
Aaron Gordon, yep. And
be another form of magic going off on us to follow Vooch.
Yeah.
Oh, they said Sims now out and Noel is available. Thanks to Burr. Appreciate that. Okay.
Thank you, D. Burr.
All right. Yeah. I think I changed my battery, but I think I got to wrap it up.
Anyway. Yeah, we're coming up on the time. So
yeah. All right. Yeah. So thank you guys for joining me for this pregame stream. Also, thank you guys, SV Nation in the chat, for holding us down, being that fourth co-host and help driving the show. Appreciate it. George, anything you want to say before we wrap up?
Oh no, I appreciate all the support and like you said, thank you guys for coming out. And let's see. Oh, shout out to D Nice, my guy, JD, Nick Yak, everyone in the chat. Thank you so much for all your contributions and stuff. It keeps the conversation. It fuels the conversation on here, on all of our shows. Appreciate that. And let's hope we get this win, man. Let's hope we get it. I have a good feeling about it. For all we know, RJ explodes.
Fingers crossed.
We have such a bizarre team. For all we know, he explodes. He gets like 25 points. For all we know.
Hey, we got to the 50 like threshold too. Round of applause. Thank you guys.
Yeah. 1 minute to go and the roadcaster comes out.
You got to pick your spots. Can't annoy the people with
I know.
All right. Thank you guys. If you want to check out George, he's also on Twitter at Into the Knicks Verse. Foxy's on there as well. Is it Sports Talk with Fox or Fox Sports Talk?
Fox Sports Talk on Twitter. Yep.
On Twitter. And you can check out us on at Sports Vibes TV on Twitter. Once again, thank you guys.
And tomorrow night at 8:00.
Yes, tomorrow night, 8:00, Foxy and I will be doing our Sunday stream. So make sure you tune in. Once again, I'm Keith, host of Sports Vibes TV, joined by Foxy and George from Into the Knicks Verse. And
let's go.
We're out.
Let's go,
Love
Nick.
you, SV.